What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here, back with another action figure review. This one's going to be an oldie, but because of the fact I just got it, I felt like I had to do it. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Mafex Dark Knight Rises Bane. Let's get into it. Now, starting off with that sexy packaging, at the top it does say the Dark Knight Trilogy, Mafex number 52, and that's how you can tell this is old because they're way ahead of that by now. You do have an image of him right here, and this is actually from the movie. This one you have an image of him, which is the figure. He's got the trench coat on, just like he has right here, looking all dope. Bane action figure, Metacom Toys, DC. At the top right here, we've got that same image. It does say Mafex Dark Knight Trilogy. At the bottom, we've got some legal stuff, the warnings, the choking hazards, the barcode. On this side, we've got the same image that we have on the top. And then on this side, we have a full body pose of him, which that's pretty cool. He looks fresh right there. Then on the back, we do have some more poses you can get the figure into. Dark Knight, Mafex, more legal stuff at the bottom. So let's go ahead and bust this guy open because I'm pretty excited for this figure. Now, first things first, straight out of the package, I gotta say that this figure looks and feels really good. I do have some issues with it. So far, it's just some paint imperfections, but I gotta say, still, this figure right here, man, I hate the fact that it took me so long to get my hands on this, because if you guys know, this figure came out probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I think, like myself, a bunch of people actually ended up sleeping on it because it was like one of those figures where you said, I'll get it later. It's not one that I'm really all that excited for. And to be honest, I wasn't. As much as I love Batman, this interpretation of Bane just really was just kind of for me, so I didn't really care about getting it that much. But now that I've got him in hand, I gotta say, man, this is nice. This really showcases what Mafex has the capability to do. I don't know if they updated the engineering or anything like that with this figure, or if they just straight up reissued it with the same exact joints, all that good stuff. I can't tell. But, of course, we'll see what all that's about once we get to the articulation and everything. But that face sculpt, let's start with that. That looks really freaking good. Now, what I do hate is the fact that some of the black paint, I don't know how well you can tell on video, kind of rubbed off on the head. So you can see like gray, where it's supposed to be just nothing but his head. Then right here on the chest, they got some of the brown right on the chest. So it looks like there's a big splotch right there. So far, that's the only thing I've seen in terms of paint imperfections, but other than that, he's very, very clean. You got some shading right here on the jacket. He's all these different color browns, these greens. He's kind of got like a, I don't know, almost like a military look to him. And I guess there's no point in going in extreme detail because at the end of the day, we've already seen this, but it's just me going over it because I'm happy to have it, and I wanted to put out another review. But on the mask, I do want to say this mask, me actually pop the head off and show that. This mask looks very clean. I love what they did with this. There's golds, there's silvers, there's blacks. You've got the head sculpt, the eyes and everything on here looks good. From front to back, this is the highlight of the figure in my opinion, which I guess is supposed to be with Bane, but this just looks so nice. I always wondered, if you remember, he got this mask halfway ripped off during the movie and it seemed like he was about to die. But I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if he can't live without the mask, how does my guy eat? I don't know. I thought that was weird. But anyway, eat or drink. But yeah, good looking figure. So let's go ahead and put him back, see how tall he stands, and then we'll move on to the articulation. Now, in terms of the height on Bane to the top of his head, as you can see, he's right at about 6 inches. So pretty small, actually. If you want to know how he sizes up with another Bane figure, here's an example right here. Major difference. Now moving on to the articulation, he looks up about that much, which I think that is fine. With the way that his eyes are positioned, it looks like he's looking up anyway, so it makes sense. He looks down about that much, so the neck movement is also really good on this guy. He gets all kinds of tilt, turn, so you can get a whole lot of expression out of this guy. Arms go up and out about that much. You do have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. These are very, very tight. I think this is about as much range as you're going to get out of those. I wouldn't try to stretch it any further than that. As far as a butterfly joint, I can't tell if one's in here or not with the jacket on, so I'll show the arms without it after this. But that's about as much as I can bring him in with the jacket on, which is fine. I mean, you can get him strangling Batman if you want him to. His hands are on the typical hinge, which these look a little sturdy, so I'm happy about that, and they fit snug also. As far as the chest, he does have a diaphragm joint, but when you try to move it, he moves at the waist. So you kind of got to hold the waist and then move him forward. He crunches forward, not too much. He does swivel quite a bit. I think some of this is being hindered by the jacket, so I'll show it without it in just a sec. But you do have that drop down leg method. He can kick forward about that much, so he can totally give an enemy the boot. He can do the splits. A whole lot more than this. He does have a thigh swivel. As far as his knees go, they bend about that much, so you do get double jointed knees. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. You get a bit of ankle rocker, not a whole lot, and then you also get a toe hinge. So let's go ahead and take this jacket off so we can see how he moves without it. Now here he is without the jacket, looking nice as heck, by the way. Still, the arm movement was definitely restricted because while you don't have a butterfly joint, you can still pretty much get this guy in any pose that you would if you had a butterfly joint. Like, this guy can totally hit the, I think I hit the camera, but Wakanda Forever pose, no problem. And that's me like doing this in front of a camera. I did it a whole lot better without the camera, but yeah, as you can see, that's not a problem whatsoever. Also, this articulation in here is a whole lot better as well. He leans back about that much. You kind of got to watch for gapping though, but he leans back about that much. He leans forward about that much. Even more when you use this waist piece right here. That's when it's really, really effective. So my guy can do all kind of boxing, fighting poses. He can dodge, weave, whatever you want to call it. And look at that movement. That is awesome. That is very, very sick. So yeah, you get a whole lot of movement out of this guy. So one thing I do want to mention though, the legs are kind of loose. Not like real bad, like as you can see, they're not moving around, but they are pretty loose. And one of the issues I have with this guy, and this could be personal, the elbows are a lot tighter than I want them to be. It's actually the reason I didn't keep my Mafex 3.0 Batman, because I was so afraid of these elbows. Like, after having my black Batman Hush break at the elbow, I was terrified of Mafex elbows. And so these are very, very stiff. So just be careful when you're posing him. Don't get excited and just throw this guy into a boxing pose. Kind of just work with the figure a little bit before you do that. And hopefully you don't have any issues, because the joints are definitely tight. Now moving on to accessories, you don't actually get a whole lot with this guy. Honestly, the interchangeable parts are really what make the figure. But even then, for the price point, that can somewhat make this figure feel a little bit lackluster. But first off, you get one head sculpt, which makes sense because you can't have too many expressions with this mask on your face. You get a pair of fist hands. These are the alternate arms. This isn't how he comes in the package, but you guys have already seen that. As far as extra hands go, you get a pair of gripping hands. So this can be him holding on to a weapon or something. And then you get another pair of stylish pose hands, and these hands look very, very small. It doesn't feel like they're the accurate size. I think they should be a little bit bigger, but yeah, you still get those. You get his trench coat, which looks very nice. There's a lot of sculpting detail on here, a little bit of shading, and it just looks nice. Then you got what actually looks like fur on the inside, so I dig that quite a bit. You get these two hands, or arms rather, that latch on to him once you pop those off, which they have a pair of relaxed hands on them. This is how they come in the package. Look very well. You got the buttons, the sculpted wrinkles, and all of that. It's a solid color brown, but it looks nice. And then lastly, you get two Batman masks. You get one that's like kinda broken up. Hold that right there so you guys can see through it. And this one's got both horns, and then you get this one where like one horn is completely ripped off. I don't remember him breaking Batman's mask twice, but yeah, you get 2 of those, and that's pretty much it with this guy. Not a whole lot in terms of accessories, which is a little disappointing. I wish we would have gotten like maybe a briefcase or something like that, maybe a duffel bag. I think he did kind of have one of those at some point in the movie, maybe a bomb, anything, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on to size comparison, starting off with what matters. Here he is standing next to some of the characters in the Nolan series. Of course, you do have the Christian Bale Batman and then the Heath Ledger Joker. These are both from SH Figuarts, and I gotta say, I don't like how Batman stands taller than Bane. I think that was probably the case in the movie, but I just don't like that. Batman taller than Bane, that just doesn't resonate with my brain. Joker, I guess he's the right size, but I don't know. This Batman taller than Bane just doesn't work for me. Maybe Christian Bale is taller than Tom Hardy, but yeah, I don't know. Next up, if you're looking to mix up the universes a bit, here he is standing next to a Mafex Justice League Ben Affleck Batman, the Suicide Squad SH Figuarts Will Smith Deadshot, and the SH Figuarts Jared Leto Suicide Squad Joker. Now for some extras I had just laying around, here he is standing next to the Reveltech My Hero Academia Deku, the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Bardock, and the Buzzmod Demon Slayer Rengoku. For my last batch of extras, here he is standing next to a Mafex Batman Hush Catwoman, and I don't like this at all. I don't like how he's pretty much the same height as her. That just doesn't work for me. Here he is also standing next to a Jazzwares Fortnite 8-Ball and a Marvel Legends Venom. Only few will know the significance of putting Venom in this video. And it's not because the movie's coming out soon. So all in all, I gotta say, even though I wasn't really a fan of this particular iteration of Bane, mostly because of how small he was, but also because he kind of talks like one of the old, I don't know, the scary monsters from Scooby-Doo Where Are You, the original series that came out in like the 80s. It's a cool figure to have, despite that. Mafex really went in on this release, and it makes me think, like, I can't believe I actually passed on this guy years ago. And it sucks because he really shot up to like $300-400 in price, and I think a lot of people still don't know about this re-release, which is also why I decided to review this figure. So if you checked out this review, you should know that this is a re-release. If you're wondering where I got it, I picked this guy up on Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm hoping that they continue to re-release all of these figures that eventually got too expensive. And this is one thing I would recommend to Mafex collectors, or collectors in general at this point. Because of the fact that this hobby has grown so much, I highly recommend pre-ordering everything. I cannot say that enough. With Mafex figures, you can pretty much pre-order them up until about a week or 2 weeks before they release. So you've got plenty of time, because everyone knows these don't release on time anyway. Now, if you decide not to get it, then that's kind of on you, but you really don't know what the price is going to become after they release. I know one figure in particular that there's still a lot of people who are angry about the fact that they didn't get it. So guys, pre-order these things. Don't make the mistake of missing out on something and hoping for a re-release, because like I said, this figure came out probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So yeah, if you're willing to play the waiting game and hoping that they re-release it, then by all means, but I would just say don't miss out on it in the first place, because this actually is a good figure. At this point, it's made me think I'm going to trace down the Scarecrow. Even though I wasn't really a big fan of that interpretation of Scarecrow either, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. I'm probably going to get the 2.0 Joker. I'll leave Batman alone just because those elbows on him worried me. But yeah, anyway, go pick this figure up. I got it for like $70, so he's not too expensive in comparison to what modern day Mafex figures are. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are. Peace.